Hey friends, so today we're going to be making some ground beef chili with beans. Yeah, just giving it a quick sniff test right there. So I'm just starting off with 2 pounds of ground beef with 4 tablespoons of taco seasoning. You could use whatever taco seasoning you choose. This is just one I made up and just happened to put into the jar. So I'm just letting that cook for a little bit, and then I'm adding a whole good-sized zucchini. As many of you know, it is the middle of summer, and I don't know if anyone else is, but I'm definitely getting bombarded with some fresh zucchini, and I'm definitely not mad about it. I'm finding so many new ways to use it. There's my little kitchen helpers just running around. Alrighty, so my zucchini is in there, and I'm going to just start kind of stirring things around. I wanted to try and simmer down and get as incorporated as possible. By the time we're finished cooking this, you won't even be able to tell that there's any zucchini in there. It just adds some extra nutrition and some extra sweetness to the chili. That's why I'm adding it. And plus, like I said, I have a ton of zucchini, so I'm just adding it basically to anything that I can. Alright, so there I go, adding more zucchini. I think this was actually some of the extra of the zucchini that I had in that one, because it was actually a pretty big zucchini. I probably should have picked it a little bit sooner, but it's fine. I don't mind having it. And then I'm just going to go ahead, like I said, just mix it in, and by the time it's done cooking, like I said, you're not even going to realize that it's in there. Just really does add some good flavor and some good sweetness to your chili. And also a little bit of fiber. I know that zucchini is mostly water, but it definitely tastes really good in this. So I have my husband steering my zucchini and meat mixture as I go. I think I was in the background grating some extra zucchini. I just had so much. That's about the size of the zucchini that I used to add to this. As you can see, it was pretty large. My husband was such a good helper. I just want to make sure that nothing's burning, and I just wanted to make sure everything's getting nice and incorporated. Whenever I watch these videos, I notice that I stir way too much, but it's okay. And here I am just breaking up the meat into some smaller pieces. Giving it a good stir. Alright, and after we're done stirring some more, we're going to go ahead and give it a taste test to see how the seasoning is, see if it needs any more salt or anything. But we will definitely be flavoring it a little bit more as we start adding a few more of our ingredients. But there's my babe giving the thumbs up, so it must taste good. So we're just going to let that simmer away. Try and get some of the extra liquid off. It doesn't have to be all of it, because I don't mind my chili being on the thinner side. I know some people like extra thick chili, but I like mine's a little bit more on the brothy side, just because I like to pour it over rice or have my cornbread kind of soak things up. And here I am again, stirring away. Oh, I'm adding some beef bouillon. That just adds some really good flavor into the meat mixture and the broth. It'll all go really well. So here I am giving it another taste test to make sure everything's good. Alright, so our meat mixture had been cooking for quite some time, and now we're going to be adding the rest of our ingredients. So to my crock pot, I'm going to add the meat and zucchini mixture. Trying to get every last little bit. This was so delicious. Honestly, you could just eat that meat mixture by itself. It literally tasted almost like a egg roll in a bowl, and I feel like this would be a great way to do an egg roll in a bowl. Just add some extra your cabbage, but here I'm showing I have some celery, onion, peppers, and garlic. So I'm just gonna go ahead and toss this into my crock pot, and you don't even need to cook it. It'll cook in the crock pot while everything else kind of marries, and I feel like it does actually do better when you don't saute it. Just add it straight into there. So I'm going to be adding some low sodium dark red kidney beans, and I feel like if you're making chili with beans, you cannot skimp on the red kidney beans. But if you don't like them, you don't have to add them. A lot of people in my family actually just put pinto beans into their chili, but I absolutely love kidney beans in my chili. I just love the way they look. I like the way they taste. They tend to hold their shape a little bit better than some of the other beans. And so here I am adding some whole peel tomatoes, and this is in tomato sauce. That just adds some really good flavor as well. And then I'm going to add some crushed tomatoes in tomato sauce. I just like the different texture that you get from the crushed tomatoes and the whole tomatoes. My husband isn't a huge fan of whole tomatoes, so I just use half of a can. And so now I'm going to add a large can of, this is chili beans. This is pinto beans and a chili sauce, and I'm just adding the broth that comes in it too, just for some extra flavor. And then the secret ingredient, I'm sure a lot of you guys use this in your chili. And if you're not, you should definitely use it because it's so good. But I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce. And I'm adding 3 tablespoons. And I'm pretty sure that's all I had left in this bottle was the 3 tablespoons. So it worked out very well. Just getting the last little drop out.
All I had left was 3, and that's what I wanted to put in. That worked out.
So now I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a stir, kind of crushing these whole tomatoes, just to break them into a little bit of smaller pieces. As you can see, it's definitely starting to look like chili. Just making sure everything is well incorporated.
Yeah, I was gonna put 1 cup of tomato juice in.
So once this chili starts to cook, you're gonna want to go ahead and taste it for your seasonings, and just make sure that everything is how you want it. But yeah, I like to go ahead and just mix my ingredients in really well, just to make sure when it's cooking that everything is evenly distributed.
You wanna carry it over to the crock pot?
So now we're just gonna go ahead and add this to the crock pot. Or sorry, we're gonna put the crock pot back in its little warmer and just let this go. We let it go for about 5 hours, I believe. And I also added a little bit of, I think it's called Healthy Boy. It's a sweet soy sauce. If you don't like your chili sweet, you can just leave it alone how it is. But we like a little bit of sweetness to our chili, so I went ahead and added 3 tablespoons of the Healthy Boy soy sauce. I didn't show it on here because I didn't actually get a photo of our chili being finished, but that's pretty much it right there. We just let it go on high for 5 hours, and then we just served it up with some chili. So I really hope you give this recipe a try. I will put all of the ingredients I used in the description below. But yeah, thank you so much for coming along on this chili making journey, and thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. God bless.